Hey guys!
I'm Mariana.
I'm Miriam, and we're group 28.
And our topic is
Nomophobia. We hope you enjoy.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. So now just take a second and think about all the things you did today. You probably woke up to an alarm, checked the time, got yourself ready for the day, checked the bus schedule if you commute, or traffic delays if you drive to school. No commute is complete without music or maybe a podcast to keep you occupied while you force yourself to go to school. If you think about it, all those things have to do with your phone. Can you think of anything you accomplished today without having to use it? We depend on our mobile devices to satisfy almost all of our basic needs. As a result, it can be very difficult to break that bond of dependence when access to those devices is restricted. This can lead to nomophobia, which is what we will be discussing in this video.
Let's start by explaining what nomophobia is. No mobile phone phobia, or nomophobia for short, is defined as the anxiety experienced by an individual when they have restricted access to their phone, computer, or any other device that can be used for virtual communication. It is categorized as a 21st century disorder since it stems from new technologies. In order to understand this condition better, we first need to explore the factors that contribute to nomophobia. One of the main factors that influence the development of nomophobia is the use of cell phones, especially smartphones. According to the Canadian Wireless Telecommunications Association, there are approximately 1 million additional cell phone users per year in Canada alone. Cell phones have also evolved over time. Functions such as sending emails, having access to navigation systems, and even texting, among others, have now become more prevalent.
Text messaging alone has evolved so much and has become more common now than it has ever been in previous years. Although it is mostly experienced by younger populations, it is common for individuals of any age to report feeling of anxiety or irritability associated with texting due to waiting for a response or when pressured to generate a response. A smartphone differs from a cell phone in that it is much more technologically advanced. It enables users unlimited mobile access to the internet, which is the fuel for all other social components of the device, such as social media websites like Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, etc.
As a result, smartphones are not solely seen as a tool used for communication, obtaining information, or entertainment purposes, but also as something that is able to fulfill people's relationship, educational, and safety needs. This can be both beneficial, but also detrimental, as it can cause compulsive checking habits to develop. This in turn feeds a vicious cycle of excessive usage and increased symptoms associated with anxiety. These are common signs of addiction.
According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, an addiction is defined as a persistent, compulsive act of something known by the user to be psychologically, physically, or socially harmful. In most cases, a smartphone user will use his or her smartphone excessively, despite knowing the consequences that this compulsive habit causes, because the user is so reliant on the device for several aspects. Smartphones can therefore be classified as addictive.
Another factor that is said to be an underlying symptom of nomophobia is social anxiety. Social anxiety is a feeling of fear and stress that is induced by social situations such as meeting new people and public speaking, where the individual may experience embarrassment or negative judgment from others.
Individuals who have social anxiety tend to avoid social situations in which they may risk feeling anxious. Because of this, these groups of individuals are more likely to communicate virtually through their cell phones because it feels less demanding. Communicating virtually eliminates face-to-face communication and thereby removing scrutiny from others, allowing for less intimate conversing and more time to think through replies. Individuals with social anxiety feel more comfortable and therefore feel less anxious.
However, although this seems like a solution, this practice will only magnify the anxiety since the overuse of virtual communication decreases the person's experience with face-to-face intimate communication. Consequently, individuals who experience social anxiety are presumably more prone to being compulsive smartphone users, and the vicious cycle continues.
A study was conducted on a population of undergraduate students in the US in order to further explore the different aspects associated with nomophobia, as well as to develop a valid measuring tool to aid in diagnosing nomophobia in an individual. The results of the study yielded the various aspects of nomophobia, which were termed 4 dimensions, which are not being able to communicate, losing connectedness, not being able to access information, and giving up convenience. These 4 dimensions were derived from the experiences of the individuals within the population and aided in the development of the Nomophobia questionnaire, NMPQ, a self-reported measure of nomophobia.
Now that you have a basic understanding of what nomophobia is, how can we, as an affected population, reduce the risks of nomophobia? Try to attempt a digital detox, where you refrain from using any electronic devices for a certain period of time. A good strategy to help implement this practice into your day is to set your phone on airplane mode before you go to bed. That way, you refrain from starting your day off by checking notifications because you won't have any. A great example is the Bored and Brilliant project, promoted by WNYC Studios, which deliver a week's worth of challenges that guides the user to less phone time and more creativity. We'll have the details linked on the screen if you guys are interested in giving it a shot. The most important takeaway message in this video is to make sure that you guys are aware that nomophobia is a thing, and it affects the majority of us.
We need to be aware of our habitual behaviors so we can learn to take steps towards breaking them.
It's important to note that the only way to break a habit is to stop feeding the addiction.
The smallest changes make the biggest differences. Yes!
Are we starting?
The most important takeaway message in this video is to make sure you guys are aware that nomophobia is a thing and it affects the majority of us.
We need to be aware of our habitual behaviors so
Why did I
that
look at
we
Why
can
did
learn
I